Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Daily Racing Form YouTube. I'm Gino Buccola alongside Mike Beer with producer Lucia helping us out for a big Saturday out at Laurel Park. Our good friend Dan Illman has done a fantastic job over there getting big fields for these races, Mike, competitive fields. And this is the first one that we're going to look at. We have a big, wide open field.
Two good races we're going to look at here for the Saturday at Laurel. Two sprint races, two really big fields, very, very competitive races as well. There's a lot to dig into.
This one is the Willa on the Move, named for a horse who was 6 for 12, broke the maiden at Laurel Park, a horse who actually finished second in the Grade 1 Acorn and ended up winning the Grade 3 Honorable Miss back in 2003. Mike, looking at some of the top contenders in here, I think you go to the 4, Take the Money Honey, but we haven't seen Take the Money Honey run in quite some time. You can look towards the inside. Onyx 10 is in really nice form, kind of light on the speed figures, though, but after those two, there's a lot of different ways you can go in here.
It just seems like a really well-matched field, especially if you're concerned about the layoff. The number 4 is coming off. The 4, listen, she's been really good in all of her races. And if she's ready to roll here in her first start since the middle of May, she's supposed to be really tough. But the layoff does, offer you at least some options to look elsewhere.
And possibly even the way this race sets up, Mike, because if we look at the pace projector, Take the Money Honey has been a horse who's been forward and pretty much right on the lead in all of her races. She may have to be sitting a little bit farther back in here than what she's used to because there are a couple other pretty quick horses in here.
Yeah, I agree with you, Gina. I mean, the pace projector doesn't have this designated as a slow or a fast pace. And I won't argue with the 9, Miss Harriet, sort of making the lead here. She's a sort of a one-way speed kind of horse. I just don't see her getting loose on the lead here. There are plenty of horses who can keep up with her, and that includes the 4, Take the Money Honey. So you sort of expect her to be fresh off the layoff here, and she's got speed.
6.5 can be a little tricky sometimes too and demanding for some of these horses like Miss Harriet who have good speed. Let's meet the field for the Willa on the Move. This one's going to go as race number 6 on Saturday at Laurel Park. $100,000 up for grabs. And we start out with the 1 Onyx 10, who's in really nice form right now. Mike, this is a 3-year-old filly who's won 4 of the last 5. She's a multiple stakes winner. And the lone loss came before a bit of a layoff. So, I mean, you can really look at that recent form. It makes a lot of sense. She doesn't have very many bad races on the page. Drawing the rail can sometimes be a little bit tricky in sprint races, and I think she's going to have to get a little bit faster on speed figures, but she does seem like she just keeps stepping up. She kind of outpunches her weight class quite a bit, it seems like.
Yeah, we'll see if she can take one more step forward here because it seems like maybe she's going to have to do that. But I mean, I just found her to be really easy to like in this race. Yep. She's won 4 in a row sprinting. 3 of those are stakes races. New top figure in that replay that we just watched right there, where she sort of did it from off the pace, always traveled from off the pace. So if this pace goes in front of her, that's probably not going to affect her. Her trainer's been on a heater all through 2025, just winning tons of races. This is an up-and-coming rider as well. I just found her very easy to like in here, Gino, and I think she's a major contender.
I think 2 of the horses she beat have come back to win next time out. So maybe that race is a little bit better than it might look on paper too, maybe a little bit faster than the light speed figure. I agree with you. She's just solid. She's honest. You feel like you're going to get a really nice run for your money with her. We move to Sultry Lass, who's going to go first start off the claim for Tom Amis. Always been a very good claim barn. She exits some solid optional claiming allowance races. One at Keeneland last time out. 2 starts back. She's behind Weigh the Risk, who's won 4 of the last 5 with some pretty nice speed figures there in the mix. What are your thoughts on Sultry Lass?
I just found her kind of hard to warm up to, Gina. I don't know about you. I mean, I know they spent most of her career routing. She has turned back for her last 3 starts, and I guess I would say mixed results. She's run okay in those races. I didn't think she ran particularly well last time. She's also, I know she's off the claim for Tom Amis, who wins tons of races, but he took her from Jacobson, who's always a really tricky guy to claim horses from.
Great point.
I don't know, man. She's not, I don't love her races. She's not a great price on the morning line. I mean, I guess I could go either way on her, but I would, if I was going to bet her, I would want a pretty big price.
That's the same thing. I want to see if she floats up a little bit, but I don't have
Yeah.
her in the mix as well. I kind of feel like you did. I thought she was just okay. We moved to Grammy Girl. On speed figures, you know, if you're just looking at her last 3 races, she's actually coming out of some of the better races, and she's run some of the better figures in here. She wasn't far behind Take the Money Honey when she raced against her back in March, and she's got a lot more recency and seasoning now. Just looked like last time out, she was second best behind Senza Parole, who's a nice horse. She did battle down on the inside. I went back and forth with her, but the more I looked at her, I kind of started to warm up to her a bit more in this spot. And she's 5-1. That might be playable in here. What do you think about Grammy Girl?
Yeah, pretty good effort last time. You know, she got the job done 2 starts back in a race that, if I'm being honest, you know, I don't love it, but I guess she ran fine. And then she got a really good trip in that race to get the job done. So listen, I appreciate the fact that Safi's taken over. He's gotten her good, you know, 3 straight 86 buyer speed figures, which I guess are going to put her in the mix. But she was another horse. I just felt like she's not that interesting a price on the morning line. And I don't know. Overall, I'm just not a huge fan of hers. I'm not saying that she can't compete with these horses. I think she can compete with these horses. I just don't like her that much.
We move to Take the Money Honey. She's a stakes winner. She's 4 for 5, and her lone loss came by a nose. And she feels like the one to beat, but she's been really right on the lead in all of her starts. She has to sit off the pace a little bit. That might be different from her. Different for her. We also have not seen her race since May, so she's going to have to deal with a long layoff. The counter would be that the barn's capable. They can get a horse ready to go, but you start kind of poking a few holes in a horse that's going to be a short price in a race that's kind of evenly matched. I think she's going to run well, Mike, but I usually pick horses like this second or third. Very rarely do I put them on top.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, all of her races are good. She's so lightly raced too, so you feel like you could even project upside for her. And she's already, you know, fast enough to beat these horses. The layoff, I guess that's the main concern, right? They're going to ask you to take a short price on her, and she is coming back sprinting after they've sort of concentrated on longer races with her for her last 3 starts. You know, I guess the flip side of that, Gino, is she was really good winning as a first-time starter. She was really good winning off a layoff earlier this year. So we already know that she can get ready off of workouts, and her works, there's not a lot of them, but they look pretty good on the way into this.
Yeah, so likes Laurel Park too. There's a lot of things that you look at and you say she probably checks those boxes. We'll see what kind of a price she is. Bailing in is the next one up. Needs another step forward here, Mike. This one got outrun a little bit. 2 starts back on the turf, but then wins at Colonial at 44-1. Did you have this one on top last time?
I did not, and I won't have her on top in this one either. I guess she'll be a similarly big price in this race. Good effort from her last time, Gino, but they've tried her in stakes, you know, a couple of different times along the way, and she just didn't class up.
Wisconsin gal, still just the lone victory, and 0 for the last 9 now. Can you build a case for her in here?
I just could not find a way to make her a contender in here at a big price.
Spencerian was well behind the number 1 Onyx 10 when they most recently raced in the Maryland Million Distaff on October the 11th. I just couldn't find anything in the last 6 starts or so in the last year that would put her in the mix against this group.
She definitely tailed off toward the end of last year or end of last year, earlier this year. I guess maybe that was, you know, a little bit too much racing. I don't know, Gino. I looked at this one for a long time because initially I didn't like her that much. Hugh McMahon claimed this filly though for $16,000, and he got her good almost immediately. Got a win out of her early, later up, came back last year, and she just looked like a totally different horse for these connections last year. Just running one fast race after another, big blowout win on this track with an 89 buyer that's going to give her a chance in here. She came off a layoff last time, and I don't know about you. I did not like the trip that she got in that race, and I don't think she ran as poorly as it looks, coming back in a really tough spot as well. She's 30-1 on the morning line. I don't know if you're going to get that kind of a price on her, but she's going to be a fair price in here, and I am using her.
Yeah, she's got some moneyed up form, as you were doing. Yeah. You're doing some archaeology there. You can dust her off a little bit. We move to St. Benedict's Prep, who she has a really good A game, Mike. I mean, when she has her best races, you see multiple 90 buyer speed figures, but her last 5 races, 3 of them not good at all. 1 is okay. And then she has 1 win that's still kind of light on speed figures for her. Not quite as good as she was when she was at her best. I mean, I went back and forth. There's a couple horses in this field that are like this. And I think a few in the races at Laurel where they have a little bit of back class. they're just not in their best form right now. And you go back and forth. For me, it's usually price that dictates how I include a horse like that. 8-1 is probably fair. I don't want to see if this horse gets bet down and is in like the 4 or 5-1 range.
Love the way that you laid that out, because that's kind of how I looked at her too. And I don't really want to add anything to it. I appreciate the fact that she's already shipped to Laurel a few times, and we know she can run her race here. And so that's a good thing. This is one of those situations too, Gina, where just being really familiar with the horse sometimes, and this horse spent a lot of time in New York, it can really cloud your judgment. I've never been a fan of hers. She's a nice horse. She can win races like this, but I'm not a fan, and I don't really want to bet her, especially if she takes money in this race. But I will wait and see what kind of price she goes off at.
Miss Harriet might be the one to catch in here. Got the lead from the inside most recently. That was back in May. That was also in a race with Alani. So if you're kind of curious how some of these pace players stack up, it does look like Miss Harriet is a little bit quicker than Alani, who's drawn to the outside. Miss Harriet is a bit light on speed figures, but I will say she did lose back in May to a pretty nice horse named R Disaster, who is a grade 2 winner and is a solid, like, graded stakes sprinting filly and mare.
Yeah, if nothing, I mean, listen, our Disaster would be an odds-on favorite if she was in this race. So
Yep.
that's something to consider. I respect that she has really good speed, Gino. I just don't think that she's that good. And I didn't see her getting loose on the lead in here. I'm not using this horse.
Now, Galloping to Hermes is the next one. She hasn't been close in the last 5 or 6 starts, and feels like they would probably need a career best in here.
Yeah, she's a long shot, another long shot that I didn't like. They've already tried her in several stakes races, and she hasn't been close.
Passage East is a little light on speed figures, Mike, but this horse overall is very sharp. Does nothing wrong throughout her career. I mean, you look at the last 5 or 6 races, she's won on the lead. She's shown she can sit off. She can pass horses. She's super versatile. She's just honest. I'm curious what price she ends up in here. She is 8-1. I think that's a very fair price if she's in that range.
I do too. I will wait and see what kind of price she is, but I'm with you. I feel like 8-1 is very fair on her. She's probably going to have to run a little bit faster to win here, but she's in good form. She's really adaptable as far as pace goes. You can put her on the lead. You can take her back and she'll make a run. They've run her at several different tracks. I know she hasn't won at Laurel. She's 0 for 3 here, but she ran fine in all of those races, and she's a better horse now than she was then. I don't know. I just think there's a lot to like about it. We already talked a little bit about that race at Aqueduct last time where Grammy Girl won. Grammy Girl just got a perfect trip in that race. And I didn't think Passage East did get a great trip in that race. She was out last. She was wide. Even though it's a 4-horse field, Katie Davis is, I don't know, sitting 4 wide around the track for some reason. I think she's pretty good, maybe even better than she looks on paper.
And we round things out with Alani, who has won at 7 furlongs. So 6.5 shouldn't be a problem. It's more about the trip. Can she sit off the pace a little bit? She's drawn away to the outside. So can she not have to get hooked so wide? She has proven at Laurel and Parks and Colonial Delaware. She's honest. I feel like there are going to be a lot of horses, Mike, in that 5 to 10-1 range, right in between there. And the 2 outside horses are probably right in that same, in that conversation.
I agree. Yeah, I can't. I have no argument with any of that stuff. And she's in really good form right now. I'm concerned about the trip she's going to pull from post 12. I do feel like she wants to be involved early, and I think that could really work against her from the outside. But I like her recent form.
So as we round out the field, we move to selections in here. I think we both respect Take the Money Honey, who is probably the horse to be. I think we both put right underneath. I've got in the 3rd spot. You've got in the 2nd spot. We both have the 1 and the 4 as kind of the solid horses that we feel will run well. But we're looking for a little more fun on the win end with some prices. You're going to go to Passage East. Talk to us about how you stack them up.
Yeah, the longer I looked at the race, the more I warmed up to Passage East. I don't think I liked her the first time I went through the race, but the longer I looked at it, I feel like there are things to hold on to with her. I do think she'll be a fair price in this race. I actually like the 2 Hugh McMahon horses in here. I also have the 7 in there. I know she's a big price on the morning line. I think she's going to run better here than she did off the layoff at her most recent start.
Yeah, your horse is the one that I started to warm up to a lot more. And if you're playing some of those pick 4s, pick 5s, I'd absolutely throw Passage East in. I'm hoping Alani from the outside shows some speed, then maybe sit 3rd and not have to get hooked as wide behind a couple of the other speeds in here. But it's a really fun race to handicap and to bet. It's a good card on Saturday at Laurel. For Mike, 11-4-7-1. For me, 12-1-4-8. However you play them, we wish you the best of luck.